your girl Ava with In the Mix with Be Fly Beauty. So for those of you who are just tuning in, I want to tell you a little bit about our show. Our show is all about fashion, how fashion ties into the community, whether we're talking to designers, aspiring models, people that have clothing brand, anything related to fashion. Today in the studio we have an awesome guest. His name is Imuneek. I'm going to introduce you so he can explain to you a little bit about his brand.
Thank you, Ava, for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I'm definitely excited to see, the production. This is great, man. I feel like a star already. I'm unique. I'm unique stands for even though an individual is different, whether you have a medical condition or a disability, you're still unique. So as Ava said, as a community leader, I assist individuals with disabilities and inspire them to find employment, inspire them to chase their dream. So I'm very excited to be doing a fashion line, Imuneek Fashion, and having Miss Ava educate me and support me on what it is to be in the industry. So thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. So we had a conversation a little earlier, so I want to go back to it. So this is a question that I asked him before we started filming. So I asked you, did you feel like you was a community leader? And can you just share the answer that you told me earlier?
Yes. When you asked me, I can say now I'm growing into being a community leader. Mm-hmm. Because to be a leader, you have to first realize it's not about you.
Exactly.
Because you start to receive all the praises, the recognition, and you start to see people always coming to you for your input. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, as a so-called leader, you do more harm, than damage, because you still got to continue to grow.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's not best to give your opinions, to tell a person, what do you think that we can do together? Mm-hmm. And start removing the I. Mm-hmm. Because as a leader, that you get so much praises, you're always looking at the I, but realizing to be a good leader is the we.
It's the we, exactly. So I look into you as a community leader, and the reason why I do, because you do a lot of things in the community. Give yourself a little praise, but you do a lot of things in the community. So tell me a little bit about the people who you work with.
Well, the people that I work with are individuals with disabilities, whether it's a physical, mental, or emotional disability. I assist them in the community primarily to help them find gainful employment. And then as we look to work with our youth, with my program, is to inspire them to pursue their dreams, whether it's through post-secondary education, whether it's through vocational training, or just get them to understand that, it's possible regardless of the limitations that society may put on them.
Okay, and how does your work tie into fashion?
Yes, so I've been interested always, in fashion. When you grow up poor like us, you got to take the hand-me-down and make it work, or you got to try to mix the colors. Mm-hmm. So I always wanted to be a fashion designer or try to get into it. Mm-hmm. So I give thanks to Mr. Damon John, because he had the same disability that I have, dyslexia.
Okay.
And when I found out he started FUBU, and he talked about his mindset and overcoming his challenges as an individual with dyslexia, and understanding that fashion is part of our community. Fashion gives an identity. Fashion is saying that I belong to a group. And so working with people with disabilities and medical condition, getting them to understand that there's nothing wrong with them. They're part of a unique group, a group that has done so many things. So trying to tie all that, into fashion. So when a person wears the Imuneek, brand, it says, man, yeah, I'm unique. Because we all are unique in our own way. We all have our own deficiencies in our own way. Some may be very obvious, whether it's through physical, where you can see the person in the wheelchair, or the mobility, or it's the mental part, with the emotions. So it's different forms, but wanting to get others, that have challenges or feel different, to say, you know what, I'm part of a group that's different, and we're striving to make a difference.
And it's okay.
Yes.
And it's okay. So let me talk to you about a sensitive topic, because a lot of people like to brush this under the rug. I can personally tell you that, mental health has a lot to do. It's really tied into fashion. People just don't want to believe that. Why do you think people don't like to talk about depression or they're suffering from some sort of mental illness?
Well, my opinion as being an activist working with people with depression and not want to talk about it, they don't want to feel different. They don't want to be judged as not normal. Because when you don't feel, included in society, then now you feel like, okay, it's me against the world. Where so the whole mental health issue that I've come across is, people just don't want to be labeled as something that's negative. Where mental health is actually a good thing because we all need somebody outside of our circle to let us know, okay, this is how you can move forward. These are the things. We all need counsel.
Exactly.
So mental health is really, counsel at the end of the day.
It is, and I really just wish that people would look at it that way, but people look at it as if, oh, something is wrong with, something is wrong with the individual. But what I want to do, and, maybe this program will help us, help other people, it's okay to tell people your story, because your story may help someone else's story. And it's okay to be different. We all are different.
Yeah.
So, what type of fashion is it though? What are you looking for as far as your design? So is it more urban or what type of fashion is it?
Well, for right now, it's urban, apparel, and then definitely, gym workout apparel. Okay. But for me, my passion is to try to start working with different youth.
Okay.
With different disabilities and giving them Imuneek as a canvas for them to paint on.
Gotcha.
To say, okay, whether you want to throw pink and brown together, why? What does it do? What does that color do for your mental psyche? Or you want to rip it all up and just wear it differently. It's to be able to to inspire them to say, okay, here's the kind of canvas and be different with it, and hopefully that they'll spin their own brand off of it. And then probably getting excited for them, not probably, but being excited for them to see them coming into their own. That's what I want to do with Imuneek. So I've been approached by others that said, do you want to do more elegant wear? Do you want to do more classic wear? I said, man, if that's what you want to do, and that's what make you feel like you want to wear it and be unique, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Certain things, because of my age and that I probably wouldn't wear. But if that's what you want to make you stand out and say you're different and the brand is helping you emotionally and mentally, yeah, go ahead.
I think the name is just unique in itself. The name I'm Unique, and it relates to anybody.
Yeah.
It's not just one person. It could relate to anybody in it. So give me some of the obstacles that you have coming out with your fashion line.
One of the things, the obstacles is, getting out of my own way, realizing what I like, everybody, may not like.
Yeah.
And being open to hearing people say, what, would you change this? Would you add this? But then also trying to stay, authentic to the brand.
Yeah.
And then the brand, basically, what I spoke about is being different and accepting who you are. And, the heart with Imuneek symbolize that a person's in a community full of love. That's why it's open, and the little eye in there is just saying you're in a community, full of love. So it's okay to be different, So that's what some of the challenges, and the financial, because it's quite expensive. The material, it's expensive. The printing, is expensive. Then now trying to get others to see, the vision, have to market it. That's the part
that's expensive too. So all of those aspects are very expensive. But so say if you're interested in having a showcase, what type of models would you use for your showcase?
I would use all type of models.
Okay.
The ones with the seen disability, unseen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Disability, the Down syndrome, person. You got, the spinal bifida, person, the pelagic,
That's
person.
Awesome.
I would like to see everybody, that's different. And the model that you think is, or that you assume is, man, she's perfect, but you don't know she might suffer from depression.
Exactly.
Or schizophrenic.
Exactly.
So those are the type of models that I would want. you know, which I know you're going to help me try to do my first fashion show. I'm recruiting you. You know, it's to try to do something like that, show the different faces of disability.
Yes, that's great. And you know what? That stuff is not going on in the community or in fashion right now. So that would be great. So let me ask you, what do you think about being selfish in business? This is a question that I asked not too long ago. A couple days ago, I put a question out there, and I've been getting some really good, really good responses. But I want to know what's your personal opinion. My personal opinion, because we've been burnt so many times. Yes, it's okay to be selfish in business with certain things.
So that's a good question, but it's so broad because business has so much aspects to it. But if you're talking about on a personal level, yes, I agree with you.
On a personal level, for instance, I'm going to tell you what brought up the question. I've done media out of the country, and my work, I didn't tag one of my things, and it went viral all around the world, and my name was not on it. But it was being shared everywhere. And then the same thing just happened to my husband, and a reputable newspaper here, and all of his work was in the newspaper. They said that they were going to make sure he was properly mentioned in it, and he was not. So at that moment, I wanted to know, is it okay to be selfish in business?
Yes, it's okay to be selfish, as you said. You know, you put in all that work. Because first of all, people don't see you went overseas, the expense, and especially if it's not being sponsored.
No,
you know, okay.
It's not being sponsored.
So time that you had to use to gain all that resources to go, then your husband to skip all that family time and put into this production, and for him not to be mentioned, that's not fair, because sacrifice. When you're a business owner, you sacrifice a lot of family time, a lot of personal time, and of course it's kind of financial. So to want to be selfish in business, sometimes you have to, because sometimes nobody's going to see your vision but you at the beginning. And one of the stories as an entrepreneur that I was told that inspires a lot of individuals, like Walt Disney. He had to file bankruptcy a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because, we were speaking about it off air. Imagine a grown man that wanted to build an amusement park for kids.
People are like, what?
Yeah. So what do you think people think about, oh man, is he a child pedophile or something?
Yeah.
Or man, why is he so harped on kids? People are always going to question.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, man, he got this vision. And he kept
falling through with the vision until he boom, I got it.
And you said it too, the whole mental health part in it. Imagine the psyche that a man had to go through and file in chapter 11 a couple of times.
Yes.
Imagine that. Imagine the family pressure, the society pressure.
Exactly.
But now people look at him as a genius. You know what I'm saying?
And they're looking up. They look up. Oh, we need to follow what he was doing. You know. But let me tell you. So interesting enough, what you said. Every aspect of your life has something to do. You have some sort of time where you're feeling depressed. People may not think of it as depressed, but it is depression.
Yeah.
When you're failing in certain aspects, and you're left, and you need to be right here in the middle. It's natural to feel like, oh my goodness, you're going to get into a funk. But that's a little depression. People don't understand that. So when people hear these words, mental health, depression, again, they look at you like, ooh, they got some issues. No, but this happens to everyone. I want to say this again on camera. This happens to everyone. Yeah. You just have to stop and think and realize, you know what? I am going through this right now, and this really is depression. Stop and talk to someone.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with talking to anyone about it.
Especially, in business, if you're, coming into business and you don't have a structure, and then I can admit that for myself, you know what, we think we know it all, but we don't know it all. So when people come up to me and ask me, Mr. Nelson, you've been around for 12 years, and business, what would you recommend? I would say, you know what, do as much research, ask for as much help. Beforehand, it will save you time. And as you said, we get into a funk, that, man, I wish I could go back and do this. I wish I was given this. And it's all about, structure and understanding that you got to go through these tough times.
Yeah.
If you really want this, because society, or the universe is going to challenge you.
Yeah.
Because to do greatness, you got to come across great obstacles. And then those obstacles will challenge you mentally, physically, emotionally, and especially financially.
Yeah.
When it comes to running a business, the bigger the dream, the bigger the obstacle.
Yes.
Especially if you're trying to do for others. So that's one of the things that I thank you for all the time for you giving me praises, letting me know that I am making a difference.
Because sometimes you don't feel like it, and sometimes it's good to hear, hey, I see what you're doing, and I see you, I support you, you're doing a good job. People don't get that all the time. And you just be truthful. Let your guard down some. I mean, that was a problem that I had. My guard used to always be up.
Because you said you got burned.
Exactly. And I'm still willing to do stuff for other people, other brands and stuff. But I've been burnt quite a bit. But I'm still moving.
Yeah, hurt people, and then I think that's why fashion, and that's why I wanted to use, I'm unique, is to let people know it's okay. It's got to be different. It's okay, because if everybody was the same, this would be a boring world.
Yeah.
There would be no reality shows.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, try not to copy.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Be
trying
unique.
to be authentic. Yeah, you guys unique, and that's what I love about learning about fashion from you. And I love how you inspire those plus size models, and then you're motivating them. I'm like, okay, So I definitely commend you for working with the models and teaching them, how to be.
Well, I love doing it. It's and then I tell people, it's not a lot of money in it for our brand. At least not yet. It's hardly any money right now, to be honest with you. But if it's something you love to do, then keep succeeding. Keep excelling at it, and eventually it will come. Hopefully it's not too late, but eventually it will come. So I saw a video on, I believe it was Instagram, of P. Diddy, and then he was mentioning that he had suffered from depression for like the past 9 months. And I thought it was very, very interesting, and I thought it was very good that he did that, to let people know, hey, I was going through this. I may not have said anything earlier, but I'm at the point now where I'm sharing this with you guys. So it's okay to go out there and get help. So you have big people like that who now starting to come out, and express themselves, which I think is very good. So I want to talk a little bit about the toy drive. So guys, I have a toy drive every year, and this year, last year, December, I connected with Hope for the Beautiful Minds and Lixon. Well, his name is Lixon, but he's also known as Mr. Imuneek. And it was a fabulous event. We had a lot of people. We had people standing up.
Yes.
People was outside.
See, you underestimated the guy. Man.
Well, we normally have it, but I knew it was going to be big, but I didn't know it was. Because we set up for 125, and we didn't have enough seats. But it was great.
Yeah.
Everyone had a good time. We had some of your students there.
Yeah.
With different disabilities. They had a great time.
They loved it. They loved it.
They had a great time. We actually had a part where we had participation from everyone, because any type of event, whether it's a community event, it's always dealing with fashion. So if it's an event for the toy drive, it's also going to be a fashion showcase. So we actually had them participate, and they really had a good time. So I really commend you on how you're, again, tying community with the fashion. I think it's a great thing.
Yes, because I would be reluctant not to acknowledge ACES, my Disability Employment Service Program.
Okay.
Which stands for Alliance Community and Employment. So ACES has an adult day training program where we're teaching life skills, social skills, and also entrepreneurship. you know, because a lot of people don't understand, even with Down syndrome, and there's so many stories out there, but I'll share with you on later time where parents are helping support, you know, their special needs individuals' entrepreneurship dream. So that's what we're doing at ACES. So those individuals, you know, they came out with some of their group home representatives.
Okay.
You know, they loved it. They were like, Mr. Nelson, they can't wait for next year. You let them walk the car, you know, the runway.
Yeah, to walk around, and they had so much fun.
They loved it, and then they felt included because usually when they go out in public, they're like, oh, okay, people are looking at me. But your environment and the environment that we as community leaders try to let them know they're included. So, and they enjoyed it, and because of the toy drive, I was able to take some of those toys to St. Vincent, an orphanage that deals with handicapped individuals, you know, in Haiti. I promised them a couple of years ago that, you know, I would come back, you know, with some toys and some school supplies. But like you said, as an entrepreneur, you know, sometimes the financials, sometimes
you don't have the backing.
You don't have the backing. So I was blessed, God, by you in 2019, and hopefully be for mine, where we collaborated and you donated all the proceeds and all the toys, so I can go back, you know, and bless others. And you not only helped me fulfill the promise, you increase my status in Haiti. They're like, okay, this is the man to call now when we need toys. But not knowing that, you know what, it was off of your vision and your dream, willing to put it to side and say, hey, let me go help somebody else, like you just said. You always, even though you get burnt, you always reopening up yourself.
I still keep doing it because I feel great when I do it.
And they asked, you know, they're like, man, you know, are you coming back with more toys? You know, thank you, because like we said, the little that we took for granted, those toys that we got from the dollar store, all those pencils and paper, now they were like, man, thank you, you thought about us. And, you know, thank you. So that's, you supported my dreams, you know, with Imuneek, and, you know, letting them know that, hey, there is an organization that, you know, looks like you, that has a disability, that came from the same place, that's trying to now start giving back, because it takes a team.
It takes a team.
You know, so thank you for supporting, you know, the toy drive. And I know this year you're going to bless another organization, you know, so I'm going to support you to support that other organization, you know, to be able to fulfill, you know, their community involvement.
Well, thank you. So if someone wants to be able to get in contact with you, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, they can get in contact with me by calling ACE's office, the main office, which is 305-757-3372. Or they can contact my business number, which is 786-357-1627. Or they can reach me at lnelson@Imuneek, which is IMUNEEK.com. And if I could put this out there, I'm also looking to work with young individuals, you know, that are going through some of these mental health issues, that are going through some of these societal issues, to be able, like I said, give them the Imuneek platform to paint on, to leap themselves off of. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm passionate about now, for another show another time, is, you know, taking all these knowledge of business that I've, you know, gained, to pass it on to the next generation.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, everyone, you've been watching In the Mix with Fly Beauty, and our guest, Mr. Imuneek. His name's also Lixon.
Hey.
But if you have any questions that you would like to ask us, you can hit us up at askbflybeauty@gmail.com. Talk to you soon. Thank you for joining. Smooches.
Love. My name is Lixon Nelson. I'm president of Alliance Community and Employment Services, other known as ACES. ACES was started in 2009 with me and my late partner, Joe Graham. And ever since then, I've been running ACES by myself.